What's going on YouTube? My name is Clark Bishop, director and cinematographer out of Detroit, Michigan. Today I'm going to be telling you why the A or the EV, why the FX30 is still a great camera you should be considering after 2 years of its release. Right now it's July. I know it came out in like late September or November, I forgot, but I done had it for almost 2 years, and the FX30 has been a great camera. And I think with its image quality, with its build, and with a couple little pieces you can get, you can make this camera that much better. A lot of people love the FX3 right now. It's a lot of hype over the FX3, and I get it's a full frame camera with great autofocus and incredible low light capabilities, but the FX30 is just like its little brother with all that potential right there just waiting to be tapped into. I had this FX30, like I said, for about 2 years, and I done shot so much stuff on it. I done shot extreme low light stuff. I done shot smack dab in the middle of the day with the sunlight beaming down on it, and I think its performance and how it holds up in certain situations is great. It's one of those things like, damn, you really getting that out of this FX30? Recently, I even had somebody comment on one of my YouTube videos that emailed me like a long thread saying, this is no way you got this out of the FX3, out of the FX30. This, you're lying. Hell no. And I'm like, yo, bro, it's just certain techniques you gotta use. You gotta know your camera to the best of its ability, know how to expose your camera, and then if you got a little sauce in the editing and color grading, you can make a really great image out of it. I think what a lot of people don't realize is it's not what camera you got, it's who's behind the camera. Every camera has a great sensor nowadays, and you can make so much magic by just shaping your light, putting good production design behind it, and doing like what you need to do in color and in post. Because even if you talk to colors or watch the podcast, or everybody says that it doesn't matter the camera. That's why a lot of the cameras like the FX3 or the FX30 can be used as B cams to the Venice or to the RE even. I had a couple people just wanted to get the FX30 next to the, not the Super 35, but when people had the RE Mini, they wanted to just have that as the B cam because it's a Super 35 feel, and they was gonna had it too, and with a good colorist you can't even notice the difference. But yeah, that was a lot of rambling. But the FX30, bro, like, I think having this camera was a game changer, and I still think with 2 years of it being out, it can still be a great game changer for people who's looking to get into cinematography, or someone that has like a production company that's a director and that just need a camera that doesn't break the bank. Because you could go get the EV10. I think the Mark II comes out and it has the same codecs as the FX30. I think the A6700 has the same codecs as well, but the FX30 has it, and it is in the cinema line, so you can build it up a little bit more. You can put a little bit more attachments on it. I think both of those other two cameras do not have full HDMI, and it's such a hassle with that little cord that it broke so many times when I had my A65 or A6000 line. It always broke. But having this FX30 can put you in that bracket to build out your camera. You see my camera right now, I got a Mac box on it, I got my monitor on it, I have a couple NDs in here, and I can build it up, and when people see it, they'll be like, hey, what kind of camera is that? Let alone it's just my $1,800 FX30, and it's not a $6,000 Red Komodo or a $4,000 Pocket. And no like spikes to none of them cameras, they all are good, but I think at this price point of $1,800, you can get more stuff to help your cinematography. You can get some ND filters, you can get some better lights, you can get a nice tripod to build around this camera. I had somebody ask me like, yo, should I get the FX30 or FX3? And I'm like, get the FX30, bro. If it's a question, that extra 2K can go a long way. And I ain't trying to rhyme, sway, but look at it. I think yeah, man, a lot of people get caught up in the specs, especially that low light shit. Like, bro, ain't nobody shooting 12,800 unless you're really doing run and gun or documentaries type stuff. Yet to this day, well, I can't lie, on FX6 on some corporate stuff I used it, but I would never intentionally just shoot at 12,800. The image is a little grainy, and I think it's overkill. The Venice, I think they shoot at 500 and 2,500. The Verano shoots at like 8 and 4,000. None of the other Sony cameras shoot at such a difference in ISO but the FX3 and FX6, and I think with them doing that, it's just opened up a market for a lot of people that do not like the cinematography of it. Because I shoot at 8 and 2,500, and I've been getting amazing results, especially like at nighttime. I just bump it up to 2,500 so I can get that noise out of the shadows. And I feel like if you just practice your cinematography and you know what situations you typically be in for your type of work, I think this FX30 will be a great justice to you, bro. Like, you will have this camera for the next 5 years. I don't see cameras getting too much crazier, because if they do, everything's gonna get priced out. It's at the point where, like, is every camera just gonna be shooting quad 4 12-bit and only be $3,000-$4,000? I don't think so. I feel like we kind of at a stable point in the market. I don't see FX6 Mark II, FX3 Mark II. I don't think none of these cameras are gonna double up behind themselves, because it's nowhere else to go. They're gonna be breaking their bank in their cinema line, and it's tough. Even though with Canon putting out that C400, I think it's in between a FX6 and the Burano. Sony tried to do it. 20,000 is steep for the Burano. I think if we can get somewhere in between that, it would be nice. But all I'm asking for is like a quad 4 12, but that's an Ari, so it's like, it's tough, man. I really like the Komodo too, but yeah, that's all. I think the FX30 is a great camera for anybody that's looking to get into cinematography. It's been out for a couple of years, but I think it's a great tool that you can utilize to help step up your game and get your work, man. A lot of my work has been shot on the FX30. I know I've been flashing in front of the screen this whole time, and yes, that is the FX30. I use a lot of different cameras. I own a lot of different cameras, but my main camera right now is the FX30. I use the word own with an asterisk because I got access to a lot of cameras. A lot of people let me use their filmmaking gear. But thank y'all for watching. My name is Clark Bishop, director and cinematographer out of Detroit. Let me know if you got any questions below in the comments, and I will answer them in a timely manner. Peace.